Alex, I am holding in my pretty little hands one of Lovehoney's finest. Oh, I just turned it on. This is literally what started my journey, my self-pleasure journey. And
I think the Bullet could quite possibly be one of the pinnacles of Lovehoney.
well, it got me to the pinnacle. I'll be honest about that.
No, but it's a great way to start your journey.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
It's little, it's discreet, it's not overwhelming.
It looks like a lipstick, but
It ain't that.
no, boy, does it pack a punch more than a lipstick.
Oh, it hits different, doesn't it?
We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we record this podcast, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We pay respect to elders past, present, and emerging.
Fuck parental guidance. This shit is MA 15 plus.
And it's with Maggie and Alex.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Okay, I'm going to a wedding tomorrow.
Mm.
And topic of weddings. So I'm not like funny about what people wear. Like if I'm to get married, which
Yeah.
I am, but I don't know if I'm going to have like the wedding. But if I did, I don't think I would be funny about someone wearing like cream or like an off-white.
Oh, you wouldn't care.
Or like an ivory to my wedding. I don't think it would faze me in the slightest. And we were talking as well about how someone revealed that they were pregnant?
Yeah, I saw this video on Instagram and it was like at a bachelorette party and they were filming for a reel. So each of the guests or each of the, I think it was like what are they called? That stand next to the bride?
Oh, the
Bridesmaids.
bridesmaids.
The bridesmaids, like each one was coming up to the camera saying something and then moving along and then the next one would come up. And it got to the maid of honor and she came right up to the camera and then was like, la, 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 I'm pregnant.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't do that.
And I was reading the comment section because I was like, would I care if a friend of mine announced their pregnancy at my bachelorette party?
And would you care?
I had my bachelorette party back in 2018. And I think in 2018, I would have absolutely
Gone off,
cared.
sis.
Yeah, I would have really cared. I probably would have cried. Not.
Really?
Yeah, because I think back then in the friendship group I was in, it was like, this is my day. So I get this one day. And because it was like a lot of like one-upping each other, it would have felt just like another pattern like that.
Like someone was one-upping on your day.
It would have felt like I would have taken it as I'm trying to make your day about me. But that was my own internal struggles going on.
See, I don't think I would do that. I think if it was like the bride knew that I was pregnant and I wasn't drinking at the hen's party, I would be like, can I let the girls know that I'm pregnant? And that's why
You
I'm
would
not
ask
drinking?
permission?
Yeah, I think so.
You would ask for permission.
Yeah.
I think I would too, but I don't even think I would like ask permission. I think it would be like I'm letting her know beforehand. And then, like, if she was to say, like, oh, you should tell the girls when we're all together
Yeah.
at my bachelorette, I would be like, really? And then if she said yes, then I would. But I don't think that
But what about wearing white or cream or off-white to
Well,
a wedding?
my wedding was the big hoo-ha.
Mm.
And one of my sister's friends was coming. And she actually sent a photo of the dress that she was wearing to Izzy, my sister, because she was like, oh, it's cream. And then Izzy showed it to me. And I was like, no, that you can wear cream. How many days are there in a year? 365. You can wear cream 364 days of the year. Like on the 365th day that it's my wedding.
You don't wear cream.
Just like, please, just do another colour.
Just wear blue.
Yeah, like whatever.
Yeah, see, I couldn't give two shits about that stuff.
I think I just like, I want it to be about me.
Well, it is. It is your day.
And Brad's.
Yeah.
And Brad's. But yeah, I
And
would.
Brad.
Yeah. Poor Brad. But yeah, I think I would have cared back then. Now I think I would be a little bit more like, ugh. But back then, 100%.
Yeah, see, I just...
Especially if it was someone that was coming to my wedding that I didn't like. Oh, then
Why
I
is
would
someone
just
coming
like,
to your wedding that you don't like?
sometimes people are like, family of family or
Like your great aunt Cecily that you haven't spoken to is wearing cream.
Exactly.
Fuck you, Cecily.
Fuck you, Cecily. You heard it here first. Told Chip Daddy and Alex that I had an excessive financial wedding. We spent quite a bit of money on our wedding. And one of the funny things about it was that we had a videographer, and we sat down with the videographer, and he was like, okay, so this is how much it costs for us to be videographers at your wedding. And Brad was like, I'm sorry, how much is that? And he said, and he goes, he looks at us, and the videographer goes, think of it as an investment into memories.
Oh, it's good.
Chip Daddy's really into investing. So how do you feel that investment would be, Chip Daddy?
Oh, that's a good sell. That's an assumptive close. You're saying you're going to remember this forever. But what was can you share the number? What was the price?
Oh, it was, I'm thinking of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was 5 figures.
Yeah. Wow.
But I'm going to put it out there. Our wedding video is the best. Like, it's so good. And now even Brad's like, that was a good investment into our memories. Like, we watch it at least 3-5 times a year.
I'll be the judge of that.
Oh, I'm going to show it to you.
I will be. I've seen some fucking good wedding
No, I'm
videos.
telling you, ours is the best. I'm just going to put it out there.
Just one question. So we had friends that had a $10,000 spend on their videography. I watched that camera guy every second, every move. Were you like that on the wedding day, like making sure you were getting your value, or did you just
There's Chip Daddy.
No, yeah, I know, but I did. Like, there was at one point where like we'd done the budget, and Brad was like, "Do you know that our wedding's going to cost X amount per hour?" And I was like, "You wait." And at the end of the wedding, he was like, "I wouldn't change a thing." So there you go.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. But you know what? I have been to weddings that cost more than mine. And I feel like it doesn't matter how much you spend on a wedding. There's that feeling of love and like excitement and happiness, or
Just
it
was the
doesn't have that
food
feeling.
good?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I literally, all I care about when I go to a wedding is the feeling of like love and happiness
I was going to say of being full. We know you like being full, Alex.
and being fed. Being fed, being full, and the quality of the food is what I notice.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the first person to sit down for food.
I just feel like you can have an incredible wedding and spend
X amount.
like very few dollars, and you can have an incredible wedding and spend lots of dollars, but you can't buy that feeling of like love and happiness. And because I've been to weddings that have it or they don't, and I don't know where it comes from because it's not money. It's not money.
It's the feel, it's the
Yeah.
vibe. And you can usually tell when there's like tension between families and there's like a bit of awkwardness.
Oh, I went to a wedding where the bride was on her phone the entire time. She was just
Sorry?
texting.
Who?
I don't know. But that was like, that like drained the feeling.
But like, why? What?
I couldn't tell you.
That is so bizarre to me.
I think something was maybe wrong with the flowers, but I think you just have to let that go on the day.
At my wedding, I was 20 years old. A girl I went to school with, she was eating my wedding cake with her hands and shoving it in her face. And she told me that she had had dreams about fucking my husband at the time.
There was just so much going on in that story that
Yeah.
you, I'm
Almost
still,
knocked my headphones
I know,
off
I'm
my
still
head.
just, what a
So
what a memory.
So like she was grabbing at the wedding cake, not cut. Like
It wasn't even cut yet.
no, like a freestanding wedding cake.
And she was just hammer and
she-
tonging it
and because like we're 20,
and telling you that she was having,
she was crying.
oh.
And like we're 20 years old. My friends are fucking drunk. They're taking advantage of the party. Like
yeah, they're like free piss.
we're 20.
I'm here.
Free alcohol. Fucking we're at a wedding. This is wild. We're going out afterwards. So everyone was just wasted. And there's my friend at the time hacking at my wedding cake, scoffing it in her gob, crying and saying, I need to tell you something. I've had inappropriate dreams about Joel. And then proceeded to like go out the front of the venue and spew all down the stairs. It's wild.
20-year-olds.
20-year-old weddings. Oh my God, that should be a new like TV show.
No, I don't think so. Do you want to hear the start of my sexual journey into Toyland?
Oh, that sounds like a fun start.
It's the bullet from Lovehoney. If you are a beginner, if you are interested in something that you can fit in your purse and
like if you just want to explore yourself.
Absolutely.
And you're starting out and you don't want something huge or intimidating, start small.
This is the toy for you. You can also actually dip it into cold, like icy water for that temperature play, which I've tried and I absolutely love.
Oh, I love that. Or you can just keep it in your purse and like if you just want to be a little bit naughty and you're by yourself, are you stuck in traffic?
I mean, I say go for it. The other thing that is fantastic about it is because it is so small, if you are interested in using it with your partner, it can...
Oh, it's maneuverable.
Absolutely. So you can be in all different positions. Because it's not big and bulky, it can get to where it needs to go.
And you also get to where you need to go, which is P-Town.
With
Pleasure Town.
the bullet from Lovehoney. I feel like I've heard a lot of talk lately about vaginas, vulvas, but they call them designer vaginas.
Yes. I feel like there's content about this everywhere. At the moment.
And labiaplasty, so cosmetic surgery to change the look.
Because isn't that removing the labia? Like that's literally like cutting it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think making it, I think the term that they were using was like a Barbie vulva, which to me is quite disturbing,
that
disgusting.
Kind of makes me feel a bit ill.
Yeah.
A Barbie
But
vulva.
it's that, it's almost like this is what the vulva should.
Yeah, like societal
like,
standard
of what it looks like.
What a vulva should look like.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like been in my feed recently because like, you know those swimwear that you can, like you look at the model and you think, where is your vulva?
Yeah.
Like my lips would be curled around the bottom of that. They would be eating that.
I mean, some women just have a vulva that is an innie.
Yes.
But there are lots of outies. I am an outie gal. I'm a very outie gal. Like I remember being very insecure about my vulva through my teenage years and even into my early 20s.
Where did that stem from?
So I had a boyfriend. I was probably like 16 and, you know, it was my first time obviously being sexually active. So he had obviously, he'd been sexually active before and he'd slept with other girls before. And I hadn't had as many, you know, sexual partners. I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he made a comment on my vulva saying like, oh, like it's out. Like your vagina comes out.
Was it
It was kind of like
negative? Or you took it?
I took it as negative.
I would have too.
And
I feel
I
like
was-
any kind of
And I was
comment.
embarrassed. And I just wanted to like escape. And I remember because he kind of was like, that's weird. Like it was the way, he didn't say that, but it was the way
The connotation was
he said it was
that's
like, I've not
different.
seen
That's-
one like that. And, you know, when you're a young girl, like a teenage girl, and boys are talking about porn, there used to be like terminologies and sayings like she has a tight pussy or a tidy pussy. Her pussy's tidy. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? And like they would openly talk about, oh, she had fucking wizard sleeves and like
I've never heard that. That's foul.
Meat curtains.
Oh.
Stuff like that. That was the stuff that was said at my school. That was those were the things that I heard.
Were they saying that in context, like with women, as in like were they talking about classmates like that, or was it?
Yeah, so like it would be
Oh.
like after a party, and they would talk about how they fingered such and such, and she had meat curtains. So it was just like really fucking disgusting language like that. And then so when you hear stuff like that and you go home as a teenage girl and you look at your vagina and you're like, well, mine's out. Mine doesn't look like it's tucked away and it's hidden away. So I was really insecure about it. And I remember after I had Elijah, it changed again because
Well, it's actually normal for our vulva to change during different periods of our life and also age as we age. Like our body ages.
our vagina
And
ages
our-
with
and
us.
our
It doesn't
vulva
just
ages.
stay the one age and then
No.
we age without it.
No, and do you know, I didn't know the difference between a vulva and a vagina until I was 31. I think I was 31 when I realised that
The vulva is the outer.
the vulva is the outer area of the genitals and the vagina is actually the canal that
Inside.
that connects the uterus to the
To the
outside
outside.
world. That's the vagina.
I think I only learnt that in recent years too. I don't think that's something that I knew, when I was in my 20s.
I
actually
find
think that's a recent
that
thing for me as well.
infuriates me.
Yeah, so
That
that
infuriates
that
me.
was language that I heard. And like, you would see like porn. Porn always showed women with bald vaginas that didn't have.
Well, I actually have some information about that. Just wait 1
Mhm.
second. All right. Are you ready for this? So I got this information from the labialibrary.org.au, which is an incredible site, and it has actually a gallery of different vulvas so that you can go on there. Oh, me too.
love that. Have you heard of Ellie from Comfortable in Your Skin?
I have.
She photographs
Yes.
all different types
Vulvas.
of vulvas, and she has like a gallery as well, and I love it.
I love it because we don't get to see a lot of vulvas and we don't get to see a lot of women's bodies. Let's be realistic. In like, if you're
Well, it's
looking
very
on TV,
censored. It's
yeah,
very
it's
censored.
it's getting better, but not to the standard of it should be. So on their site, it says, in Australia, photographs of women's genitals that appear in magazines need to comply. And when I say magazines, I'm not talking about like PG magazines. I'm talking about all magazines to porn. So even porn magazines have to comply with the guidelines for classification of publications. The classification board requires that the labia minora, so the inner
lips.
and clitoris, are airbrushed out of photographs. They're airbrushed out. They have to be airbrushed out.
Still now, like still in 2022.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe so. Do you think though that the penis,
Yeah, I was
anything
going
about
to
the
say,
penis
what-
needs
what-
to be airbrushed? Let's just take a minute. Do you think?
No.
No. Penis. There are no classifications that the penis needs to comply with.
Of course there's not.
And I find that absolutely fucked. So that's why in
And it's
porn
so
magazines, there's only one
Type of
type
vagina.
because, which is just, I can't, that's now. That was in 2005. I think the board, they say that's like when the classification thing came out in 2005. So I don't think it's even changed. So we need to like get a petition going for that because
But I think that is just, things like that are so damaging, and I think it's dangerous because when you're a young girl and the media show one type of vulva, and that is like how society views, like they say it's like the perfect, what did you call it before?
the Barbie,
Or designer.
the designer vagina.
The designer, that to me, like there are so many young girls that have shame around their vulvas and what they look like. Like I speak about it quite a bit on my socials, and the amount of people who have messaged me saying, I won't even allow my partner to go down on me because I think my vulva is ugly. And I get that all the time. And it is because of fucking shit like this.
I must admit, I never enjoyed oral sex until I was in a relationship with Brad where there was full trust and
Well, I think
respect
oral
and
sex
love.
for someone with a vulva is more intimate.
Yeah,
than actual
whereas
sex.
I was happy and fine to give oral sex, but to receive oral sex was like a huge different thing because my thing was like, what does it smell like? What does it like?
I think smell
taste
is
like?
smell and taste is a big thing when it comes to
I never had the look, the body image issues of
what it looks like.
what it looks like.
Like I have Googled labiaplasty for myself.
And here's the thing.
I've actually Googled that because I was like, I don't like, am I meant to look this way? Because I'm definitely an outie, but I did like the work of like vagina worship and how you can do like vulva worship and like vulva meditations, and you kind of sit in the mirror and you look at your vulva and like you teach yourself how to love it and worship it and accept how it looks, and that really, really helped me.
I think that's really necessary
'Cause
for
I
women
think
to actually look at themselves in the mirror.
yeah,
look at it.
your anatomy.
Yeah.
Because I don't think a lot of people do.
No.
I don't think they take the time to sit in front of a mirror and go, oh, that's
And
that's
to
me.
know it's normal. And the thing is, if you don't like anything about your body, I'm cool with like you do you. You want to change something about you, not a problem. However, I feel like there probably needs to be a moment where you go, where does that come from?
Yes.
Where does that come from? And if it's for you,
Where does the
and
shame stem
yeah,
from? Is it
and-
my childhood? Was it a previous partner
Yes.
that made me feel
because I think that's
awful
important,
about it?
knowing where that stems from. And if then you choose to do whatever makes you happy, that's fine. But when we do things to our bodies for someone else, I don't think it's ever going to go the way like
That we want it to.
Nah.
And it's never going to feel how we want it to feel emotionally.
No.
And I just think vulvas are all different.
Which I didn't know. I actually
they are
didn't.
all so different.
Before I saw, I think it was like maybe a couple years ago, I was watching a show and they actually had vulvas on TV, and it was the first time that I saw a vulva of a 75-year-old woman. Because like, when do we see naked older bodies?
Yeah.
Like, we don't see that. And I was like, wow. Wow. And that was a big moment where I went, oh.
You're like, oh, my flaps are going to end up down here.
Yeah. Because they change. The colour changes.
Yes.
Everything changes.
Well, my vulva at the end of my pregnancy was like a bright purple.
Mine too.
It was this crazy purple color, and I remember thinking like, oh my God, like I have never seen my vulva look like that. And it's because it's just blood flow. There's just so much blood flow down there. They change.
They do change. And I think just knowing that there are different ones and everyone's looks different, and that's okay, and not being ashamed of it either. Like,
and doing the work on the shame.
Oh,
like, if
and you have to
have shame. You need to.
You have to do the work.
Unpack that and find the origins of where the shame comes from.
Because the other week I went to the doctor and I didn't realize that she was going to do an examination, so I wasn't prepared. And as she said, just go behind the curtain, take your pants off, blah blah blah. I was like, oh God, I wasn't prepared for this. I'm not shaven. I'm not this. I'm not that.
Oh, so your mind went straight to like, I haven't maintained.
No. And I was going, and in my head, I was like, I'm going to have to apologize.
Oh.
And I shared this on my stories. I said, I was so close to apologizing.
For your pubic hair.
For my
which is
pubic
totally
hair,
fucking normal.
for my vulva. Like, I was ready to apologize. And I had a moment where I went, I'm not fucking apologizing.
Yeah, because it's
I'm
not inadequate.
No. What
like,
am I apologizing
for?
for?
I know.
So
That's that's like us putting pressure
Oh,
on ourselves from
that's-
what we have seen in society,
what
in
we
the media,
should be.
and like this ideal
that we have to
vulva.
maintain all the time. And I had so many messages from beauticians and from GPs that said, and even like, tanning people that see vulvas, that see women's naked bodies. And they were like, the amount of women that apologize for normality
Yeah, it's
is
sad.
insane. Like,
It's really sad.
and I had a lot of people go, oh, I apologize all the time, but I'm not going to do it anymore. And I was like, yeah, you're not going to do it anymore.
Fuck no.
Like,
never
that's powerful.
apologise.
That's so powerful.
That's your
So,
body.
yeah,
And like, it's beautiful in all its forms. Like, that's what I
Absolutely.
had to like teach myself, that I'm beautiful in all my forms, whether I am pregnant, whether I shave, whether, it's in all its forms. It's like, look at what the vulva can do.
it can.
Look at what the vagina can do. Like, it is a fucking brilliant piece of anatomy.
It's a force.
It seriously is. It's like that quote, how it's like, don't be a pussy. Be a fucking pussy, because that thing is fucking powerful.
You were warned. But thanks for listening to MA15 Plus.
Now you can send your burning questions to hello@ma15plus.au.
We want to hear from you, so please subscribe and leave a review wherever you listen to this podcast.
Maggie, did you know the longest relationship I have ever had is actually with Lovehoney?
I mean, no, but it makes sense to me.
Now, if you want to check out our spicy recommendations, please go to the show notes.
Yes, or any products that we have recommended, they will be at lovehoney.com.au/MA15PLUS. You can thank us later because you will be buzzing, you will be wet, it will be wild.
You'll just be a very, very, very happy person.
And happiness is what we're about.
And maybe you'll find a long-term relationship like me.